Sure.
So we need to recognize that a lot of these folks are going to get out.
And they're going to
before their trial. That's right, right after the incident. So therefore,
right.
we've come up with an idea that we can allow for judges to order, maybe you pay a little bit less bail, because we know you're still going to get out.
Sure.
But you have to agree to this GPS technology, which is you'll have an ankle bracelet, and then the victim will have a device as well, so that she could be alerted if the offender is getting too close to her.
Yes.
And then also, too, that if the GPS, the person with the ankle bracelet gets too close, police will be automatically notified.
Wow,
and then
that
they can go track them down.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
How could it be better? I mean, we're going in outer space and stuff. This is the best idea I've heard of yet.
Well, I think the way that I view things, and it's not just about getting your work done. It's about the important things, saving people's lives and making sure that people don't die, and those are the outcomes that the public would expect. So.
Well, that's what we hope that you will do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're law enforcement, and everyone out there needs to realize that this is going on, and it's not just like in New York or Chicago or Vegas or whatever. It's right here in the Twin Cities.
That's right, and we have technology, and we got to use it.
And I hope it works good.
Yeah,
I mean,
we just started a pilot project, and we're working through some bumps, but I believe that in the end, this will prove to be very successful in the sense that we're going to keep victims safe. And
yep, that's the most important part.
And these defendants won't be violating their no contact order. Yeah,
I was a young girl in that business, and I tell you, it's one of the hardest things in the world to get out of.
Yeah, and that's the story for a lot of these victims. That
hardest thing to get out of.
They realize they're in a situation that they can't get out of. I hear that over and over again.
It's because you're living this kind of a life.
Yeah.
And you're maybe driving Cadillacs.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe you're driving, buying clothes that anybody can't buy, just a normal gal.
Mm-hmm.
And they get into that, and they get used to that, and this guy tells them everything they want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tells her everything she wants to hear, which most guys wouldn't be saying some of the stuff that they're saying.
Yeah.
That gets them convinced that they're the queen of all Shebas.
Yeah.
And that's how they get them hooked.
Yeah.
They get them thinking they love them. I just want to say that a lot of times these kids are communicating with the wrong people.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're going to go down that path and maybe never come back. Because there's a lot of deaths out there.
Yeah, in fact,
the
victims of sex trafficking, they're so much more likely to end up dead than the rest of the population, or great harm coming to them. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Because they get angry, they get aggravated. The guy gets ticked off, and he's violent anyway in his way of thinking. They're kind of distorted thinking anyway. Anytime you find a man that says it's okay if you go to bed with some other guy, I understand. Don't you think he's a little bit off his beam? And that's the first clue.
Yeah.
If a guy says to you, honey, it's okay if you go to bed with that guy over there because it's money for us. Run as fast as you can.
That's right. That's right.
Tail it out of there.
Yeah. I think another important part of all this, too, is, you had asked about the community. I think we need to have a really important conversation about how we're raising our boys.
The boys, exactly. If we don't get the boys, we're never going to change it.
Because
I agree.
Just looking at the profiles of the Johns,
exactly.
They are doing this. I think when they start engaging in this behavior, they have this view that this is a victimless crime.
Well, yeah, they think
that somehow for their entertainment, that ordering a girl is
to go to
just
bed,
is just fine, and perhaps even if that this girl wants to be with this man, and that's not the case.
That's not true.
That's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
And Breaking Free, which is a great organization,
yes.
They have a great John School. And
yes.
what I love about it is because they have this. It's really an exercise of trying to impose empathy on these Johns to get them into the shoes of these girls and women, and so that they understand what they're doing.
Yes.
And they've had great results because once someone goes through that program, they don't reoffend. Because I think they recognize that what they're doing is not victimless, it's not harmless, it's actually harmful.
It's very harmful. Can't we someday have a class in school when they're about 7 years old, 7 through 8, 9?
I think we ought to be
and
talking
boys,
about this
to the boys.
To the boys about think about all the contrary messages that you get out there from Hollywood.
Oh, you're a good guy. Yeah, cool, man. You
exactly.
do. Yeah.
All that. You got shows called Pimp My Ride.
Yeah, Pimp My Ride. I mean, there's another show.
A glorification of being a pimp.
Yeah, glorified it.
That's the worst thing you could ever be.
It was the worst thing they could ever do.
Yeah, that's right.
To guys to think that being a pimp is glorious and glamorous.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem that we have, that the country, that these women, they just get conned into believing that it's okay. Until they have to go to bed with 10 or 15 guys a day.
Yeah.
And then their body starts, falling apart. And they start doing drugs to keep up with all this. And because I was on drugs. I did drugs. I did pot. I did pills. And I had to do all that stuff, or you couldn't have done it. You can't do it and be normal. And be a normal person. You got to have some kind of altering drug. Whether it's booze or whatever it is. It's some type of drug. Nowadays, they got some drugs out there that are killing people. I mean, some really heavy-duty bad drugs. Plus, it was VD and gonorrhea in my day. Now it's AIDS.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, having sex with someone, it can kill you.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, you could die from having sex with these guys.
That's right.
And I just am so excited and so happy that you're doing what you're doing, John. You're just a man to be congratulated on what you're doing. And you should maybe somehow help me get a group of guys. I have a bunch of guys already that are in that want to help. And they want to do anything that I want them to do. They'll come and speak at meetings or anything to help other men realize that this is do not be violent to women. Stop the violence.
That's right.
If you shatter, and also my slogan is shatter the silence, stop the violence. How do you like that?
I love it.
Because if we talk more about it, it'll stop it more about it. So what do you think we need to do?
Well, there's a bill up at the legislature. It's called the No Wrong Door model bill, which tries to provide $13.3 million of funding to this issue around a whole host of things that are really needed, around victim services, around housing services, around shelters. What does a police officer do at 2 in the morning? There's no place to take somebody who's been trafficked.
Why isn't there, John? Why isn't there?
Well, we've got lots of stuff for domestic violence, but we don't in this area. And I think there's a lot of correlation between what domestic violence was back in the 50s and 60s. We didn't fully understand it. You know what I mean?
No, I know.
Police officers might even come to a scene and say, "Well, they'll just work it out.
That's domestic violence. That's just domestic issue.
We'll just leave.
We'll leave. They'll work it out."
But we don't do that anymore.
Thank God they don't do that anymore.
Yes, no, we don't. And so I think this is an area where it just needs to have attention. So that bill's happening up at the legislature.
The bill is called what? No
Wrong
door.
Meaning that there's no wrong door for someone to a runaway girl who's been exploited sexually to come and ask for services, because there will be services. And so that bill's up at the legislature, $13.3 million request, and we're hoping that can pass, because when we do intervene in these types of situations and we help these girls, we can make a world of a difference. And here's a perfect example. In Ramsey County, we have the Runaway Intervention Program. And it's focused around runaways, but we know that 30 to 40% of runaway girls are sexually exploited because they're vulnerable. And for those girls, about 75 girls a year that go through the intensive services. But after 1 year in this program, 1 year, and they get connected to a public health nurse who is kind of helping them deal with all of their issues. But after a year, around 3 issues that I think are really important: teen pregnancy, suicidal thoughts, and actual instances of self-harm, where they take actions to hurt themselves.
They hurt themselves and stuff.
These girls who have been sexually exploited multiple times, they do better after a year than the average Minnesota girl of that age range.
Really?
So when we make an investment and we do it into programs that actually work, we can help these victims get on the right track in life, address their chemical dependency issues if they have them, address just taking care of themselves and their just emotional and spiritual health. And we can get girls on the right track again, and then in the right place in life.
Oh, God, that would be so wonderful. Let's hope that passes, everybody. You hear that about that bill. Vote for it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there going to be something on TV or something going to come up about it, or are we going to hear about it in the news?
The bill just had its first hearing this past week, and the bill passed out of committee. It's got many other committees to go, but the hard part is going to be finding the money, because right now in the state we don't have a lot of money.
No, we don't.
But I think
that
this
just
issue
changed the other day too.
Yeah,
Did they pass that new law?
Which one?
About the women, the
Violence Against Women Act. I believe it did. Yes.
Yes, passed today.
Yes, I think it did. I think it did.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great, and that's so needed too, because that does a lot of great work around domestic violence.
Oh God, yes, we can. I think we had that law in there once before.
Oh yes, it's been around for a long time.
And then it fell off or something, and then now it came back again. Thank God, because we need that to get be able for you to raise money to do what you need to do. And is it true there's only like less than 100 beds to bed down a woman that's out there on the street?
In fact, in the state of Minnesota right now for sex trafficking victims, there's 4 beds right now for all of those victims, and so we estimate that we need about 35 beds at least. So that's what this bill at the legislature is going to help fund.
Oh my goodness! Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And there's hundreds of thousands of girls a year.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. There's, I mean, the
maybe not here.
Yeah, but throughout this country. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the country.
Yeah, you bet.
God, we got to make some changes.
Yes, we do.
Amen.
But we're starting to work on it, and I think we're making good progress.
Okay, I want to come to your first guys' meeting now.
Okay. And there's a great website called Minnesota Girls Are Not for Sale. Girls Are Not for Sale, but I think that the public and the community should be connected to that if they want to learn more about this issue, because there's a lot of information on that website. And that's an effort by the Minnesota Women's Foundation. They've got a $5 million campaign called Minnesota Girls Are Not for Sale, and it's focused around this issue, around trying to end sex trafficking. And I know that we can make an impact, and we can do it if we can get the community engaged.
So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed the time.
I enjoyed talking with you. Well, it's probably kind of different. I'm not a scholar or a book read. In other words, I'm from living the life.
Yes, and you're a great human being. I can tell just by having a conversation with you, and I really love being here.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah,
you made my whole month.
Oh well, thank you.
I mean, it's just like the best ever that you could come and be on my show, because you are making such a difference. I mean, I see you all over. I mean, you're just working so hard to help, and you being a man, and you being in this heart that you have inside you is just wonderful.
Well, thank you. And,
your heart is wonderful.
And I do it because I just know that there's wrong out there, and we need to make it right.
Yes, we do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
God love you.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much for listening today. And I'm so happy that you could be here and hear this wonderful man speak about all these horrific things that are going on in women's lives, and we need to make a change. We need to stand up and make a change, and stop the violence. Shatter the silence, stop the violence, I always say. And thank you for coming, and bye-bye now.
Those fingers in my head, that sly come hither stare, that strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft.